Welcome to another video. I am the Starman. Now then, I'm sure you've seen, or I hope you've seen my other videos on this amazing comet C2020 F3 NEOWISE, which is really lighting up our skies at the moment. It's really taken us all by surprise, and it's brightened up to naked eye visibility. And I managed to get a picture of it as well, and I think I showed it in the last video, and that was really a grab shot, to be quite honest, and I'd like to get a proper photograph of it if I can, and I'd like to show you now where I've got in mind to take this photograph of this amazing comet. So I'm just going into this park now, and I'm going to show you. I'm actually in Blackpool, not too far from where I live, and I'm just going to show you now what I can see from this park. So we'll just flip the camera around. In the distance we've got Blackpool Tower. I think you know what I'm thinking. I want to try and get a shot of the comet over Blackpool Tower, because I think that would be the ultimate shot. It's something that I have to do. I think people would expect me to do that, and what I want to do is to show you through my thought process on how I'm planning this shot, because it's going to take a bit of planning. I can't just go up there and take a picture of it. I need to plan it out, see where I can get the shot from, and then see if it clears up and we're able to take the shot. Okay, so what I really want to do is I want to get the comet level with the top of the tower. I don't want it over the tower, and I don't want it underneath or behind the tower. I want it kind of level with the top of the tower. What I need to do is I need to go further up this way to get closer to the tower, because from here we're too far away, and I'm going to show you now why I know we're too far away to get that type of shot now. So if you saw my last video where I described how you can gauge how high up the comet is in the sky, you'll see that I held my hand out, my palm out at arm's length like that, and can you see, if I do that now, and it probably doesn't quite work on the camera, the comet is going to be somewhere up here. It's going to be disconnected from the tower. So what I need to do is I need to go further up into this park, further up, and I'm thinking the football ground area will be a good area to possibly capture the comet.
We should have booked that in advance. By the nose. Probably still wouldn't have made it though.
Okay, so I've now come quite a bit further up the road, and I'm now, as you can see, outside Blackpool Football Club Stadium. And I'm now quite a bit closer to the tower, and I just want to show you now what I mean. And if I do the hand trick again, if I hold my hand out, you can see now it's almost the same height above the horizon as my hand. So what this means is that we're kind of in the right area to capture the comet close to the tower from here, because it's not going to be any higher in the sky than an outstretched palm. Now I just want to show you something I filmed earlier, which I used to plan the shot. I used Stellarium, the program Stellarium, to help me plan where I needed to be for this particular shot. So I'll just show you that now. Now this is Stellarium that I have loaded up on my computer here. It's an absolutely brilliant program, and you can download it for free, and you can also get it as an app on your phone. I actually did a video on this showing you how to use the app on your phone. Now I use this quite a lot to plan these type of shots. So you can see we're looking towards the north here and kind of the northwest, and you can see I've actually got Comet NEOWISE here on the program here. Now I did have to download this to the program. It wasn't there. I had to get a plug-in so that it would appear on the screen. So what I'm going to do now, again, can you see how it gives you a good idea of where to see it in the sky? And we've got this bright star here, Capella, which I spoke about before. And that happens to be in line with this other star here, which is called Menkalinam. If I zoom in, you can see Menkalinam. Zoom back out. These two stars on this particular night roughly point towards the comet, which is really great. Now, you might be watching this a bit later on, and the comet might have moved off more towards this way, more towards Ursa Major. It's moving all the time, you see. But on this particular night, these two stars are pointers. So I'm just going to run the time on now, and you can see the way the comet moves. Can you see now how Capella is now moving past north, and that's reached its lowest point in the sky, and that's going to start rising now, and the comet is now tracking towards the north, and we should be able to start seeing it now. It's now 11:30 on the time, and if I turn off the landscape, you can see that the sun there is getting lower and lower. It's going to come down here. It gets to its lowest point at north, and it needs to be below 10 degrees before we can reasonably see the comet. And this is the 10-degree line. So I say there it's probably about 11 degrees. So certainly we should be able to see the comet by 11:30 on this particular night. So now back to the video. Now I don't know how far away it's going to be roughly. You know, we're in the right area. If it's more towards this side of the tower, towards the right hand side of the tower, I'm going to have to move that way. I do need to have this bit of space to move. Okay, so I'm just moving into this other car park now on the other side of the road to where I was before, because I might need all this space here to move around to get the chance of the comet. So I'm expecting the comet to be somewhere up here in this part of the sky. It's going to be fairly close, it should be fairly close to the tower. If it's too high up, let's say if it's up here, then I'm going to have to move closer so that the tower rises higher in the sky and I can connect it with the comet. Okay, so I've come to the other end of the car park now. Anyway, you might be able to see the tower behind me, hopefully, there. So we're even closer to the tower now, so it rises even higher up. So we might have to come to this end to connect the comet with the top of the tower. I'll show you a photograph on the screen now that I took from this very spot a few years ago of noctilucent clouds over the tower. And I'm kind of using that picture as a guide as well to give us some idea of, because noctilucent clouds tend to rise so high in the sky, around about 10 to 15 degrees. Now this comet can be inside the noctilucent clouds, so the comet should be very, very close to the top of the tower from here. Maybe over there I was too far away. We won't know until later on. As the night goes on, the comet is going to move across the sky. It's going to get very slightly lower down, very slightly, and then it's going to come this way. So as that happens, I will probably need to go down here onto the street if I want to keep shooting it. So I'm just making my way down the path now that leads down to the road, Rigby Road. The only problem is now is I'm losing sight of the tower now behind those houses. So I wouldn't be able to shoot it on this path. There's going to be a blank spot here where as the comet moves round closer to the tower, I'm not going to be able to shoot it because there's too many obstacles in the way where I am now. So I'm hoping that there'll be an opportunity up there, and if not, there should be another opportunity once we get past these houses down here. So let's go and have a look. So I think you can see there, we've got this row of houses and the tower is behind them, and you can see that it's completely blocked out, the tower. So what I'm going to have to do is, as the comet moves around, I'm going to have to come down here. Yeah, so I'm just walking up the road now to try and find another clear space where I can shoot the comet over the tower as it moves further round to the north, because I know I'm going to have to change my shooting angle. I'm now opposite a building site, and there's a fence up there and there's a house over there, and you might just be able to make out the tower over the top of that house. Now the comet is definitely going to move round towards this part of the sky, so how am I going to shoot it over there? Well, the only way I can do it is to probably come in this yard here. Okay, so I'm now inside the car park of Blackpool Transport Services. It looks like I might have to come in here when the comet makes its way around, probably after midnight. I'm not sure if you can see the tower behind me poking up above the house there, but certainly there's a clear shot from here. Okay, so now that I've given you an idea of the areas that I need to be in, the locations where I need to be and all the obstacles in the way, I think I've got enough leeway to be able to get this comet, hopefully. Now all we need is for it to be clear now. It's kind of 50-50, so we're going to have to hope on that. But anyway, now that I've planned out the area, it's time to wait for it to get dark. Okay, so I'm now back where I was before, and it's getting dark and it's almost 11 o'clock. But look at these clouds I've got here. I really hope these clouds move out of the way. Otherwise, it's going to be really difficult to capture this comet. Yeah, so I'm just going to take a little walk up here just to get a little bit more of a view to the... Can you see over there? There's quite a big break there. I'm hoping that that break gets bigger. I really hope so, because if there's a nice big gap over there, I'm going to have a real chance to get this comet over the tower. I want to see if I can get maybe a close-up of the tower using a telephoto lens and get the comet behind it and try to make it look really big. If I can, that's the idea anyway. I'm just going to go and get my camera out now, and I'm going to set it all up, and I'm going to take some test shots, and then hopefully the comet. I've just put my 7200 lens on the camera. The idea is I want to get in on the tower. I think I need to be at least 100 millimeters. I've got a bit more to play with this lens. Anyway, I'm going to poke this lens towards the tower now, and we'll see how we do. Wow, I don't know if you can see this, but look behind me. It is breaking up nicely. Look at this. Wow, that is really, really nice. I've taken a couple of test shots with the camera. I'll just put one on the screen now. It looks really, really nice. Lovely colour in the sky. No sign of any noctilucent clouds that I can tell yet, but there's time yet. Now, I think time-wise we're probably about maybe half an hour away from when I can start to probably image the comet, or at least maybe even possibly see it when the sky gets dark enough, when the sun gets low enough below the horizon at 11:30, sorry. So yeah, the sky, it's breaking up as I watch it. It really is breaking. This is looking really promising. I'm so pleased, because I was almost thinking of driving off somewhere else and reverting to plan B, which wouldn't really have been ideal really, because this is the shot that I wanted. But so anyway, we'll wait and see how it goes, and hopefully it'll break up even more yet. Okay, so it's now 11:05, and I'm looking for the Bright Star Capella, and it's just behind cloud at the moment, but I could do with seeing that so that I could then line it up. So as you can see behind me, the sky isn't too bad at all, and I just need to keep taking test pictures, and hopefully I might just be able to see the comet in the frame, and once I see it in the frame, then I can line up the shot properly. Right, I've just had to move over the road because I've just located Capella for the first time, because it's just come out of a cloud. I was a little bit too far over, I think, to get the comet on that side of the road. So now that I can see Capella, I'm going to take a shot now from where I am inside this car park. I've just set my camera up here behind me. So I'm just going to take a test shot now and see if I can even see the comet. It's still a little bit early yet, but take a test shot and see if I can pick up the comet now. I've got it, I've got the comet, I've got the comet over the tower. Oh no, but I'm all the way over to the car park, I'm all the way over to the far side. Oh no, I've just got a picture of it on the camera. I'm just going to show you on the screen now what I've got. Oh, I can't believe it, but I'm in the car park over the road. I had to come all the way over. I was way too far over the road on that side. I can't believe it, but the comet is a little bit too far over to the right, more than I thought it would be. But I've definitely got it right over the tower. The thing is now is I have to try and find another place. So it looks like I'm going to have to go down here. Look how clear that sky is now. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, that's amazing. I've got to go down here. I've got to go down here. I'm going to have to go in here. The angle just isn't quite right. So I'm going to ask someone if I'm allowed to get into this car park here, because if I can get in there, I can get a good angle on the comet. I just got kicked out of the bus station by security. I was just stood in the drive where the buses come in because it was a good angle for the tower. It wasn't perfect, but it was better than what I was getting on the street. And I'm back out on the street now. And the comet is coming round, so it will come round, so I will be able to get it from here. The problem is that the tower, the background sky is getting a bit darker and the lights of the tower are starting to drown out the Comet now, so that's my problem. It's starting to get a bit rowdy around here, a bit dodgy. I might have to move somewhere else. Well, I'm pretty glad that I crossed over the road when those two lads came along, because one of them has just used this car as a toilet. Eh? Anyway, I'm going to move into another position now and see if I can get some more shots of the Comet. Okay, so I've come into the car park of Blackpool Transport here, a public car park, so I'm okay in here. There's nobody shouting at me. Because the angle is not bad for the Comet now, because it's moved around. It's moved pretty much into the north now, so I can now shoot it from this angle. But I just want to show you the problem I've got with streetlights and flare. It's really, really bad. I don't know if you can see this, but I've got this orange kind of band across the screen here, and that's flare caused by these streetlights. I think that streetlight there is responsible. And even if I put my hand, normally you can block the flare by putting your hand in or put a lens hood on. I should have the lens hood on really, but it isn't really doing anything to stop this lens flare I've got here. It's really, really bad. Can you see that there? Right across the screen there. So I can get rid of it by moving across the road, away from these street lights. I probably should have put my lens hood on. It would have helped to stop the flare, but of course I went and left it back in the van. I don't think it would have stopped this flare, because this flare is actually really, really bad. It's caused me all kinds of problems. Anyway, I'm going to keep shooting. The lights on the tower have now gone off, which is interesting because it means that I can at least avoid the flare of the lights on the tower. Oh, I'm getting some good shots now. I'm actually shooting across a building site where the works have stopped, and thankfully there's a fence that I can shoot over the top of, but it means I'm a bit close to this rowdy crowd now over the road. Look at this lot here. Yeah, there's quite a few beer monsters. So this is where I am. This is my tripod here. I was over there before by that building, the Blackpool Transport building, Rigby Road, and the Comet has moved so far over now. So I was shooting it from over there before, but because the Comet has moved round, I've now had to move my tripod over to here. And I've just got it sticking up over this steel fence. Can you see? I've had to put the tripod right onto its highest, high up as I can get it. Yeah, so I've not just got a problem with streetlights, I've also got a problem with rowdy beer monsters. But that's just what you've got to do in this game.
I'll tell you what, this one's service, this one's all we want. The boss catches me, the boss catches me, the boss catches me, I swear I'll be dead.
Okay, so this is starting to get a bit ridiculous now. I am actually stood in the middle of a road now. I don't know if you can see behind me. I've got the tripod on an island in the road. But the problem is now is I can't avoid these streetlights behind me. Can you see all these street? I'm shooting straight down this road. I'm on Tilsley Road in Blackpool, and it's got a brilliant view of the tower. You can see right behind me there. But the problem is that I'm shooting across these streetlights, and I think now I'm probably going to have to leave it. I wanted to try and get the Comet over the tower and get the tail sweeping over the top of the tower for a nice pleasing shot, and I think I've already got that, and I got it after they turned the lights off. So I think it works better with the lights on the tower turned off. I think I'll have to leave it here now, maybe have to go somewhere else and shoot somewhere else. I think you can see the problems I've had, all kinds of problems, getting kicked out of the car park over there, the bus station car park, got caught up with some beer monsters, and one of them ended up using the car as a toilet. So anyway, I'm going to end it here now, and I'm going to show you the pictures I've got. And I hope you like this video, and please hit subscribe if you want to see more like this one, and I will see you again on the next video.